Hi everyone, my name is Lorena. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm sharing with you 8 tips for beginning long distance running. I started my running journey about 6 years ago and ran my first marathon 5 years ago. It's something that I never thought I would be able to do, run a marathon. I'm not a very athletic person or never can really consider myself very sporty, but running has really been something that I truly enjoy. And so I wanted to share these tips with you and would really help you as a beginner runner. Let's get started. My tip number 1 are shoes. Shoes are very important. You have to get the right shoe for you. I recommend going into a running shoe store, and there they will assess you and help you find the best shoes for you. Sometimes as a runner, we don't really know the way that we're running, whether we're running neutral, whether we're running inwards, and there they have the technology to help assess those kind of issues. I run very inward, and so if you see this shoe actually has a little bit more of a height on the inwards to give me the stability. If you compare these to a normal neutral shoes, you wouldn't even be able to tell, but the difference is major once you are running. They also have special insoles sometimes at the stores that you can get. I recommend, I got one for my long distance running shoes. I also have a second pair of shoes that I use just for my recovery runs, and this is more of a flexible shoe. It's still a stability shoe. I have the regular insole for these, but as a beginner runner, you just want to make sure that you have the right shoe to begin with, and then as you go along, as you get into this running journey, then you can go out and get multiple shoes and really see if you prefer one brand over the other. It's gonna make all the world and the difference to get started and be comfortable and not overwork muscles and not have any other injury or any kind of pains as you are increasing your mileage and start running. And my tip number 2 would be, what is your goal? What is your goal for running? I know that a lot of us do it for fun, and that's great too, but as you want to get into the habit, I would recommend signing up to some kind of race already from the beginning. That's something that worked for me. I said I wanted to go back into running, and in order for me to be a little bit more committed, I went ahead and signed up for a half marathon, and that really helped me, push me, and kept me going. Once I was in the flow of training consistently with my group and just really motivated, I then went ahead and signed up for the marathon that I'm currently gonna be doing really soon. But it really helps you to give you that push, to give yourself that little goal of saying, I want to complete this milestone of running a 10K. Just to begin with, you know, do something small, do a 10K. There are tons of local runs all over all different kinds of city. I'll also link below a website where you can find different runs around maybe your local area. But yes, I would highly recommend that you just sign up for a race from day 1. And then tip number 3, make a plan. What are going to be your running days? You need at least 3 running days, one of them being your long run day. The other 2, one can be something where you work on intervals and speed, something where you're just doing miles to keep the consistency going, getting your body used to running a lot. But just be consistent with your schedule, be consistent with having at least 3 running days. And tip number 4, don't worry about speed at the beginning. It's not about speed. It's not about how fast you can run and complete that 10K or that 5K or that half marathon. Just get your body to be comfortable with the miles. What's important is that you put the miles, forget about the speed. That's not what's important. Once you do get comfortable with that 10K and that's your maximum goal, then you can start incorporating other trainings to go faster. But the goal at the beginning is not to run the fastest, is to get the miles and the endurance up. And with that in mind, tip number 5 would be, do some other kind of cross trainings the other days that you are not running. For example, I ran Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays, and then Monday and Wednesdays I do the Peloton cycling. I also tend to do a little bit more of free weights, something that's going to be beneficial to you as a runner. So for example, if you do have a membership for the Peloton, they have strengthening for runners, but also you can find a ton of content online on YouTube of what other workouts benefit you as a runner. Specifically, I would recommend some that are good for your ab, for your core, because your core is very important as a runner. Your knees, your glutes are very important as a runner, so you really want to incorporate squats, you really want to incorporate abdominal workout. You're not really looking to have the most toned arms or the biceps, because that doesn't really benefit you as a runner. I mean, like doing some kind of bench work, not all of it benefits you as a runner. Like, sure, you have more muscles, but I would say focus on what are great exercises for runners specifically, so that those other muscles that you use as you're running are able to help you and support you and get you going in those long distance run, and that you're able to reach those long distance miles. Tip number 6 would be to hydrate. It's so important to hydrate before, while you're running, and after your run. Not only just hydrate with water, add in your electrolytes. For me specifically, I know that I sweat a lot. I can tell that I have all these like salt particles all over my face, all over my body. When it dries out, it's very white, and so I know that I'm losing salt. I need to replenish my body with sodium and electrolytes because I do sweat a lot. I use this, which are electrolytes, for running. As I'm running, I want the energy because I'm going for 20 miles runs, 18-mile runs, and there's a ton of data that show that when you do take the electrolytes, you do have a lot more energy 15 minutes after taking one of this, 10 or 15 minutes taking one of these. So you should drink it always from the beginning of your run, not at the very end where you're feeling tired and depleted. You should take it at the beginning, take little sips as you're running along your mileage, and then you will see that flow of energy be consistent throughout your whole run. At the end of my runs, I'm taking something like this, which is called a liquid IV, that has a little more than electrolytes. It has sodium. This is formulated so that your body consumes the water, and therefore you are getting the hydration you need after your run, just to recover and to feel less sore. It's also, I felt the difference. I just started taking this, but I have felt the difference, and I have felt a better recovery, faster recovery, because I feel like this is helping me hydrate after my long runs. Tip number 7, so important to stretch and then have those recovery days after your long runs. I am really bad at stretching, but it's super important. I notice the difference when I do stretch and when I don't stretch. I also have a HYDRATE, which is a gun that releases tensions to the muscles, and in combination of stretching with that, I find that I have better recovery. I would recommend, if you can, splurge something like that, but that's not really important. The important is that you are stretching and that you are allowing your body to recover after such long runs. And the next day after your long run, it's good to stretch as well, but don't take this as another day to incorporate cross training to do strength work. Just really recover, really take the time for your body to heal, for your body to hydrate. Make sure that you're nourishing good nutrition overall so that you're able to recover faster. And last but not least, my last tip would be to join a running group. The reason I was able to run my first marathon 5 years ago was because I joined a running group, and they have formulated a plan for you to be able to reach and run a full marathon. The running group starts with 2 miles. Every Saturday we go up by 1 mile, 1 mile, 1 mile until we get to double digits, and then we skip every 2 miles because you should go up by 10%. So I would highly recommend for you to maybe look into your city and see what kind of running groups they have around your city. The Road Runners are the official, for example, LA Marathon running group. There are road runner groups all over LA. There's also Nike groups at the Nike stores that meet and they run. I never done that one specifically, but I've actually passed through theirs by some Saturday mornings, and I know they're getting together and they're joining as a group to run together. There's other ones in Manhattan Beach, there's some in Pasadena, there's all over the place if you are in the LA area. If you're not in the LA area, I would seek and just Google, you know, what are other running groups around your area, and it makes a world of difference. If you are able to join a running group, I would highly recommend it. It would make things so much easier, and you are put in with a pace group that you feel comfortable with, and they'll do intervals running. I currently do interval running, so we run for 5 minutes and we walk for 30 seconds, and this works. You don't have to be running the whole time around. You know, being a runner doesn't mean that you run a whole marathon without any breaks, no walks, or that you're failing because you are walking. I really like that. It really works. It keeps you going. It's just the right amount of running and the right amount of breaks. It's very consistent. You know what to expect. You know that you're running for 5 minutes and you know that you have that break. It's almost like giving birth, and you know, when a contraction happens, you know that after the contraction, and that minute of contraction, it's gonna come down and you're gonna rest, and you're just thinking about that 1 minute that it's gonna be over soon. It's kind of like that, you know, like you're running for 5 minutes and then you know you're gonna have that breather, that resting time. Go and find a running group near you, and that's really gonna help you in your running journey, long distance running journey, and it's gonna make a world of difference. So I hope these tips were very useful to you. I wish you best of luck. Running is something that has helped me more than anything for my mental health. I know that I've gone through a lot of things in recent years where, you know, I have a lot of stress, whether it was because of work, because momhood, and having an infinite amount of to-do list and chores, and just running takes you away from that mindset. It puts you in, you know, blank. It's just you and yourself and your mind. At the end of my run, I have all these endorphins, all these energy. It's just the best feeling to be able to run. It's a lot more than just being fit. It's a lot more than just losing weight. It's really for your mental health. It's really to make you stronger. There's something to long distance running, you know, like having that endurance, having that discipline. It says so much about you. It just, you know, makes you believe in yourself so much. I'll be sharing more videos about running, about what specific gear I use. I have a ton of bottle hydration gear that I currently use. I also have things for my knee, for support and stuff like that. So I want to make a video about all running gear, specific things that I use, and just reviews of what works for me, what hasn't worked for me. I'll share that with you in future videos, so that you're also able to buy some of the stuff or consider it and see how that changes your running or how it improves your running. But yes, if you can give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Until next time, see ya, bye.